Hello and welcome to another short video from Stepping Stones Professional Development. Today we have Janine Kelly, the creator of Stepping Stones, talking about one of our workshops called Inspiring Setups, using the environment as a third teacher. Janine?
Hello, actually probably next to maybe behaviors and supporting educators in those big strategies. This is probably my biggest hot button because every time I set something up, I will stop afterwards and I will say, is this a place that I would want to play at? And if the answer is yes, then I'm like, fantastic. If not, then I'm like, what else could I do differently? And I think there was a reason behind that, Kristel. And that's because I think of my childhood. And I had one of those really authentic childhoods, you know, back in the 70s, 80s, yeah, like 70s and 80s, where we literally were outside. You hear the fairy tale of children outside until dark, that kind of thing. And that was us. And I'm the child that was in the embankments, making the water, the rainwater run, and how can I make it go all the way down and through the trees and things like that. So I'm still that educator that sits in the sand pit that gets messy with the children,
We
because
love getting messy with children.
that's authentic. I'm there to role model for young children just how to play.
Yeah.
So I think my setups are a huge part of it. So this coming week, we're actually talking a lot about those inspiring setups. So I have a little prop behind me because you know me, I like my visual aids because I am still very much that way. So we've been talking a little bit about still life and taking children's art to maybe that next level. So it's such a way that they can communicate through their art, especially if they do have any delays or they're still learning how to communicate. Art,
it comes before everything, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, Kristel.
That
So
expression is there from the get-go.
absolutely. So I've got a little setup. So how do you get the community involved? What about going to the library? Yes, it might take you as a teacher just a couple of extra, maybe an extra 20 minutes when you're planning something. Yes, it might be your own time. But can I share my 28 years worth of wisdom in one moment? I spent 20 minutes at the library getting paper, setting up the paints, and I don't spend more than 5 minutes running around like a chicken in my yard putting out spot fires because they're engaged. So I would rather spend 20 minutes going to a library. If you're a parent, take your children with you. Shouldn't you be exposing your own children to libraries? Take them with you. A library is so much fun, but then you can talk to the children. Bring your receipt back with you. Teach them that this is a library receipt. Have them be responsible. Have them help you tick it off. All those little things, but you bring the community to them. If you're not fortunate enough, my service isn't near a library. So if I want to teach them about the library, we bring the library to us, but I also go as well. So this was just a little one that I found. I found one around women artists, and I thought, oh, I quite like it, you know. So it's got all different types of really interesting pictures. It's got just some beautiful pieces of artwork. It gets a little bit of printed text involved, but it's just one way that you can bring in around the world different pictures. You're respecting copyright, so you know that you're not infringing anything like that, but you're exposing children to the library. Lovely. And then
so many birds with one stone.
Yeah, and then you've got, maybe this is your still life, so maybe it's a plant. You add a little bit of aesthetics. I just have a little silver bow on it. That's all it was. A little pot from good old Kmart. And I really need to get some woodworking tools. I'm trying to get my partner to get me some woodworking tools. I got a little wooden circle.
I have a lot of them that I use at my own
Yeah,
service. Oh my God, there's so many things that you can do with them.
that's it. It's just a little piece of wood. Now, if you had, let's say, your own saw, why couldn't you go and get from Bunnings a shelf and go, whoop, 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 you've got 4 pieces of square. The
Yep.
one thing with this size is it's a bit big. So if you can't use it for individual children, because I love having the little square ones with clay
Yeah.
on it, because it tells the children that this is their space. This is their safe space. This is where they get to create and build. But this one's a bit big, so I like it kind of like as my little centerpiece. So let me just put this up because I don't want to drop it. Oops. And then I've got my little easel. So this is my easel because I do like to paint. So, but I would set it up. There's no reason why you can't make little easels or get stands for cookbooks.
Yes,
And
yes.
then
I
you
was just
just put
about
it
to say
on.
those cardboard frame holders.
That's right.
Yeah,
You just then put it
clipboards.
up so they could have little individual at the table, or
Mm-hmm.
you could do it next to a big paint easel. Kind of your way of doing it. So that's just one way that I like to bring in, tapped into a little bit of culture, a little bit of community, but I'm also promoting language and literacy, communication, the arts, all those beautiful things. And when you think about the philosophy around Reggio Emilia, for instance, and that expression of language and how children can communicate to us in so many ways, 100 languages, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think this is just one easy little setup. Now, I also have been doing a couple of little things for our nursery. So I've moved next to the shops.
That's so dangerous.
And it is so dangerous because there's this gorgeous little dollar-like shop, and they have these
Oh.
containers, and they actually stack, and they're
Oh,
plastic, but they also come apart.
that is awesome.
And it wasn't all that much. So it's good for storage if you need to store them.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've also got some little sensories for the nursery, good shape the items. I've had some sequence stickers from my scrapbooking days, you know, me and my crafts. So I stickered those on the inside so they've got a bit of reflection, kind of
Yeah,
gets their
that's a
attention.
really good idea.
Yeah. But then why couldn't you also tap this into, do you recognize my two colors here? What have I been talking so much about? Zones of regulations. So why couldn't you take something as simple as that for our youngest children,
Mm-hmm.
but tap it into zones of regulations? So your nursery can be doing your zones as well, but just
Mm-hmm.
in a way that's for them.
It
So
starts in nursery, really.
that's right. And I don't know if people really think about when they do those setups in nurseries. It is not just changing babies' nappies, giving them a bottle or a cuddle. Every time you set up a space for them, you're promoting their brain function.
Yeah.
You think about those different lobes in the brain and how they start to develop from 0 to 6 years of age. Every time we put something in front of them that moves or tracks, we're building that part of the lobe that supports the eye function. That's why mobiles were so important over cribs, because it teaches eyes to track. So
Mm-hmm.
little things like that. So they learn that I see it, I reach it, I grab it, I get it. So we're thinking that those setups is so important even for our youngest of people, our little children. So I really, as you can hear, get a bit excited about it. I'm also somebody that just I love a good surprise. I still love Christmas. I'm the biggest kid out there. I think why I do so well in early childhood education. I'm a big child. So again, me in that dollar shop, not expensive, people. It really isn't. I know services probably are fine, but you could also put out a wish list with your children. Is anybody got any old gift boxes?
Mm-hmm.
So a dear friend of mine, Renee, she came in once and I watched how she could gather every child without saying group time, you know, and
Okay.
she would just start to do a little song.
Taking.
What's in
Oh.
the box? What's in the box? I wonder, what's in the box? The more animated you get,
The more excited they get.
whoop. Would you like to see what's in my box? If you'd like to, you can't tell the next person what's in the box though. It's a surprise. It's got to go around the circle. And as everyone, they start to giggle. Do you know the more we make children giggle and laugh, especially those that have trauma, the more we give them a relief of dopamine in the brain? I love the brain. And because
Yes.
when they're stressed, they're getting all that cortisol and that floods that lymphatic system. And it causes that, like we're talking about a lot in our behavioral workshop, in that, you know, the guidance workshop that we do, about how that's such a lifelong health issues, that it builds such lifelong health issues, young children that have anxiety and trauma all the way through because of that stress hormone. But every time we can give them that dump of dopamine, make them giggle, make them laugh, let
Make
them
them
have
feel
fun,
safe.
let them relax, we're supporting and we're doing some of the reversal of that damage. So I do in my little setups, little things like that. I'm always thinking of the next part, what could also be being impacted. But why can't babies do their numbers? So I went and got they're metal shiny door stickers.
Good.
And they're shiny, they're loose objects, so they're gonna love it. They're safe, they're not scratching. They're safe, but they're shiny. Little ones love the shiny bling bling.
Oh, it catches their attention so fast.
It does. So just in this little box, it's just all little loose bits.
Yep.
That's it.
And it's not even about, you see, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, numbers, you know, we're not teaching. When you've presented that just right there, having numbers in the box, it's not about teaching children 1, 2, 3. It's just exposure, isn't it?
100%.
Getting them familiar with it. So then
yeah,
it becomes a part of them. It becomes a part of their environment. They're used to it. They're familiar with it.
Exactly.
When they see it next time, as they grow up, they can make those connections.
The neuron connections, Kristel, of the brain. We don't realize, do we? Do we realize as educators, I'm looking out at you guys all, hopefully there's somebody watching this and they don't think I'm just this massive crazy woman, but do you realize what you do matters?
Every single thing.
Yeah. So I guess Inspiring Setups is coming very soon through Stepping Stones. I'm really excited to be presenting it. Kristel, I think you might be presenting it next month to people that if they can't make mine next week, tomorrow, which is Sunday in Australia. I've done Australia times. I've done some of them on a Sunday. So those international people that really want to tap in, they can. So for instance, if you're like myself from Vancouver, Canada, you can actually join us. So if you're from around the world, we'd love to have you join us. Drop us a line. You can like us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube now. We've got our own YouTube channel. LinkedIn. Even send us an email at Stepping Stones Development for ECEs. We'd love to hear from you. Kristel, thanks so much for bringing me out here today.
Thank you for sharing your inspiration with us. I love hearing you talking about using the environment and the way that you're able to use that little bit of information and link it to so many aspects of what we do as educators. It is such an important aspect of our job, isn't it?
It is. And you probably now have one of the bigger roles. I might be working on the floor with children, but Kristel is actually a lecturer now in ECE. So you, my friend, are inspiring the next educators. It's full cycle. It's full cycle. How exciting. Kristel, thanks a lot for today.
No, thank you for sharing, and I hope to see you in the next video.
Thanks. Bye.